my goodness, I don't even remember the last time I uploaded a Wi-Fi battle to this channel. Definitely, it's been a long time since. It's a lot easier to get a good showdown battle than it is a Wi-Fi battle due to, well, yeah, it's a lot easier to do it on showdown than it is Wi-Fi, because on Wi-Fi, well, you don't get a lot of good matches on that, to be honest, which is why I kind of veered over to showdown and whatnot. But anyways, got a match here today against my good buddy Crobat for the win, aka Danza. He was doing something for John, aka Pokemon's guest narration week, whatever you want to call it. And we opted to do a little exhibition match. He opted to pose as the New Orleans Pelippers in the GBA, and I opted to pose as the Long Island Regirockies. A team that I definitely see a lot of potential in, but apparently it's not getting tapped into. So, anyways, looking at teams, my Mega Altaria can definitely be a massive threat to his team, as it can hit really hard and hit most of his team members with the appropriate move. But the biggest threat to that is my Mega Venusaur, or is his Mega Venusaur. But I have a Jirachi to best that. So, oh yeah, and I also have a Alakazam with Focus Sash to try to take that on. So basically my game plan is to keep my Mega Altaria, my Alakazam, and my Jirachi alive. And I could probably be okay with this match. But if I also get rid of Raikou, I can also have my Hawlucha sit up and just destroy stuff. So, hope you guys enjoy this battle, and let's get this show on the road, why don't we? So starting off, he's going to be leading off with his Raikou, and I anticipate him to try to lead off with that, and lead off with my Mega Altaria. I invested this thing to try to combat a Specs Raikou, because I'm more calm-natured, trying to take some hits that my Quagsire wouldn't appreciate. In turn 1, he just goes for the Volt Switch to get a little bit of momentum, and he brings out the Dayquil, the Venusaur. And I'm just going to try to flat out Earthquake, because I didn't really know his initial switch in, but then again, Venusaur is pretty much a universal Mega Altaria counter. So, I'm going to go on to my Jirachi to try to best this thing. I am in a self-best Jirachi to combat this thing. His Hariyama, if he did bring it, and his Sylveon, which would be a big threat to my Hawlucha. But there he just goes for the Roar, and roars out my Mandibuzz. And the fact that he is Roar is going to come into play a lot later. You'll see. But now, there he goes out into Raikou, and I'm just going to go into my Jirachi to sponge whatever move that the Raikou wants to go for. Goes for Volt Switch, and that should pretty much tell him that I am in self-best Jirachi. And there he's just going to go into his Empoleon on the Volt Switch. I U-turn out, and we're just having momentum fly left and right. And here I go into Quagsire, thinking that he might want to Scald. And this would make him think that I am a Water-absorbed Quagsire, which I think I did bring to try to combat Empoleon, as he doesn't have too many setup sweepers and whatnot. And yeah, I just try to go for the Earthquake, but he predicts that nicely, goes and hands in the Uxie. And I'm just going to go into my Jirachi, sponge its Psychic. God, that did literally zero thanks to the Assault Vest, and I thought that he might want to switch, so I just go flat out for the U-turn, and bring in Wilma the Mandibuzz again. And I believe here he winds up going for the Thunder Wave to try to cripple my Mandibuzz. Or, it was rather cripple the Jirachi. But Mandibuzz, much better paralysis fodder than Jirachi is. And there Uxie just winds up going for the U-turn as he brings in the Raikou. And that's going to immediately threaten me out. And before I do switch, I am going to get a Toxic off on this Raikou to try to get a little bit of chip damage off on it. Because Raikou is a pretty big threat to my team, if you look at it, with the right coverage move. It could carry HP Grass, could carry HP Ice. More probable than not that it's going to be Grass for this Quagsire. But there he just winds up going for the Volt Switch and flat switches. So that pretty much has me thinking that this is probably a Specs Raikou. But I guess we'll see later. There on the double switch, I kind of predicted him going to something else, probably the Venusaur, so I went to Jirachi. And there I just U-turn on the Uxie, and then go back out in the realm of the Mandibuzz, as the Oopsie just winds up going for a Heal Bell and gets the Toxic off of that Raikou. So, pretty much trying to whittle his team down with Toxic. Not going to be a pretty good strategy here. But, yeah. Fortunately, Heal Bell only has 8 power points, so I can just deal with that. And now, I just go into my Quagsire for whatever reason. I think the Entei or Raikou might have been coming out. But he just winds up U-turning, goes into his Venusaur, and I'm just gonna quickly switch to my Mandibuzz, because... Wait. No, that's later. I just flat out switch into Jirachi to try to combat this thing, because I don't want to take a Giga Drain, but he winds up roaring, and I get my Mega Altaria brought in. And now I have to go into Mandibuzz, who now takes the Sleep Powder. And we're just going to be doing a whole bunch of switching again. There he winds up going into Raikou. And I just go for a Toxic again, expecting the switch. And this time, and last time I switched out into Quagsire, so I'm thinking that he might want to go for HP Grass. This time, I'm just going to be going into my Mega Altaria and trying to sponge it. And it is revealed here that he is carrying the HP Grass. And it's definitely a good thing that I created this Mega Altaria to be a special sponge and whatnot. Well, with Earthquake to combat the Raikou and Entei. And now I'm just going to get off the Heal Bell to cure my Mandibuzz of its paralysis. Not really needed, but hey, I'd like to get my Mandibuzz up to full speed and minimize the hacks risk. But there, Mega Venusaur is just going to go for a Sludge Bomb, followed by another one, and Mandibuzz is taking that relatively well. It's about a 4-8 KO, and I'm just going to try to go for the Roost. And here, I'm just going to try going into Jirachi again to try to sponge another Sludge Bomb. But unfortunately for me, Roar happens again, and I just can't get this thing in safely. And try to threaten it with the Zen Headbutt, which I am carrying for this and the Hariyama. Well, provided that he did bring it. But now he's going to be coming out into March of Penguins as I do double switch into Wilma. And I'm going to try to get a little bit of foul play off on this thing and whatnot. Well, I definitely need the Empoleon weakened. And, well, none of my guys really appreciate a knockoff, so I think Mandibuzz is the best one to take it, other than Mega Altaria, but I don't really want to risk a Flash Cannon or anything. Because, yeah, I don't really want to play too risky around this thing. But there he winds up going for a Scald as I'm trying to foul play away. And there he just ends up going into Raikou to try to take another foul play. And here I'm actually thinking that he is not running 0 IVs in his attack, because foul play did that much. But once again, I'm just going to be going into my Mega Altaria, the Universal Raikou Sponge in this match. Since it's not carrying HP Ice, it's carrying Grass for the Quagsire. And once again, Mega Venusaur is going to be coming out on the Volt Switch. So, yeah, this part of the match is pretty much a bit repetitive and whatnot. And here, Mega Venusaur is just going to be going for the Sludge Bomb, and follows up with another one, thinking that he might KO from that range. But I live on 13, but unfortunately, I do wind up getting poisoned. Not really the end of the world, since I do have Roost to take some of that away. But, yeah, the lack of lefties definitely hurts me here. Now I bring him Jirachi on the Sludge Bomb, and I thought he would switch fairing his then Headbutt or something. But he still stays in, and winds up going for a Sleep Powder, which was definitely an excellent play if it worked out to his advantage. But, yeah, that was definitely coming. But here I'm just going to be going into my Jirachi again as Sponge a Sludge Bomb. And now out comes the Entei, and here's the part where I definitely revealed the Zen Headbutt for that Mega Venusaur. But, yeah, Entei definitely going to take that, looking like it's going to be physically bulky and whatnot. And from the shiny nature of this Entei, I'm thinking that it's adamant and not running max speed. So I'm feeling safe that I could get off a U-turn, although it was very risky. And I'm just going to be going into my Quagsire to Sponge Sacred Fire. Probably the only thing at this point that would want to Sponge Sacred Fire. Probably, other than Altaria, I guess. But, yeah, Earthquake from Mega Altaria on this thing would just be doing piddle at burn. But, yeah. Here I'm just going to be going for Scald, I believe, on the incoming Uxie. And I wind up getting a burn on that thing as well. So that's probably going to be another turn of Heal Bell used at that point. And whatnot. But I'm thinking here, I don't know who his Stealth Rocker is. More than likely the Empoleon, but here I'm just going to be going into my Mandibuzz to abuse the Heal Bell and try to get some roosting off. Because I definitely need this thing healthy to keep rocks off of the field. Jeez, I cannot speak. But anyways, Uxie goes for the U-turn there, and out comes Dayquil once more. And I'm just going to be going for the roost once again. And now thinking about it, that last move on the Uxie is probably Side Shock or Psychic. But here, I'm just going to keep on roosting in, try to get some solid damage on that Mega Venusaur. Just whatever it takes to try to get some chip on that Venusaur. It's pretty much the bane of my existence, especially since it's carrying Roar. And now he's going to be firing off one more Sludge Bomb, and that HP bar is going down faster than I'd like it to, because that is a critical hit. Not the end of the world, but I do kind of lose that on hazard control. But now I'm going to be going into my Alakazam. Going to be predicting a switch into probably the Empoleon. So I go for Focus Splash there. I connect and get a special defense drop on the Uxie. And I'm going to be following up with the Dazzling Gleam. I'd carry Dazzling Gleam in case that he brought Spirit Tomb, which I definitely over-prepared for. Shadow Ball would have been a little bit more optimal since I do have Mega Altaria to deal with Spirit Tomb. But hindsight is 20/20. And I definitely want to keep my Alakazam stash intact to try to deal with some key threats on the team like Mega Venusaur and whatnot. So I just go into Quagsire and sponge the Extreme Speed since this is a physically defensive Quagsire. And at half health, I'm pretty much forced to recover here. But not without him going into March of Penguins, the Empoleon. And here, he's pretty much free to get up Stealth Rocks. I'm a burnt Quagsire. I have no hope in taking him out with an Earthquake or anything. So he's pretty much free to set up his Stealth Rocks here, which he does right now. And I'm just going to try to fire off an Earthquake, and that is not going to be doing much at all. Actually, it does enough to 2 a KO from that range. Without the burn, I probably would have KO'd. But, yeah, what can you do? Sacred Fire Burn is Sacred Fire Burn, and not much you can do about it. And now he's going to be bringing out his Mega Venusaur as I wind up going into my Jirachi predicting that switch in. And he's immediately threatened out by the threat of a Zen Headbutt. And I'm just going to be U-turning out into my Mega Altaria. Try to threaten this thing out with an Earthquake, but a little bit more priority is trying to get a Heal Bell off and whatnot. And, yeah, I don't really want Quagsire to get burned all that much. But now, I'm just going to be going for the Heal Bell, get that burn out of that Quagsire. And here I make a pretty nice play. I'm going to be going into my Quagsire, expecting him to want to go for the Sleep Powder. I don't really need Quagsire all this much, other than to sponge it, and this is the most expendable thing on my team. So, yeah, since Mandibuzz is gone, I have to choose a Sleep Powder. Quagsire was the best thing for it. And now I can send Jirachi without the fear of getting put to sleep. But I still have to run the risk of getting roared. and I'm going out to Mega Altari again off the Roar. And I thought he would Roar again, so I might want to getting a Roost, but the Roar Mind Games are too strong, and that's where the whole Roar thing is coming into play. I lose my Special Sponge, but once again I'm free to go out into my Alakazam to try to get up a Psyshock on whatever. Hansen's his choice of Switch, and I am going to follow that up with Dazzling Gleam, try to take it out, but nope. My Sash is broken, and I am in a lot of trouble. I can't guarantee to take a hit, and, well, my best thing for Mega Venusaur is now in a little bit of danger. So now I'm going to be going out to my Quagsire to sponge whatever this Entei has to throw at me. And that is definitely going to be the E-Speed, because Alakazam is stupid fast, but stupid frail. And now I'm actually going to be pulling out a double switch into my Hawlucha, as he is going to be going into his Mega Venusaur. So I can immediately threaten this thing with whatever. I do opt to go for the Acrobatics at this point, because I don't really want to Roar. But he is actually going to be going into his Empoleon as Death Fodder in this thing. And I am going to just go for the high jump kick after I nail that thing with Acrobatics. And Empoleon is pretty much gone. And now he sends out Crocodile for some weird reason, which still has me thinking that he's Specs Raikou. And he ends up going for the counter on my substitute, which has me wide open to go for a Swords Dance here. And he winds up following up with a knockoff. And I can still play a few Mind Games here. I am a +2 Hawlucha, so whatever he wants to bring in, it's not going to appreciate a high jump kicker or an Acrobatics, especially since my Citrus Berry's gone. But here I go for the high jump kick, and Crocodile winds up living with a Sash, and I'm panicking for the counter, but he still winds up going for the knockoff. And if he wound up going for the counter, it probably would have been game over right there, since I didn't really have too much to combat the rest of his team with. But now out comes Entei, and I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that my Hawlucha may be dead here, but I wind up living the hit with 2. And I get off that high jump kick, and it's pretty much good game from here on out. Raikou's gonna come in, and even if this was Scarped, which I am going to reveal now that it is, it's not gonna outspeed me after the Unburden boost, and it's gone to a +2 Acrobatics. I didn't want to risk the high jump kick there for, well, obvious reasons and whatnot. I didn't want to choke away the win. And from here on, Uzi's going to go down, and his last Pokemon's going to be Mega Venusaur, and that's going to die to it +2 Acrobatics, and that will be the game. Well, that match was a lot closer than the score indicates. It was a 4-0 in my favor, but if my Hawlucha would have gone down to that extreme speed or a counter from that Crocodile, I definitely would have lost. That Mega Venusaur definitely was annoying, so big props to Danza for bringing that. And I have to say, good game to my good buddy. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Rate, comment, sub, and I'll see you guys next time.